upside, we are the last thing today.
Yep. Hi, folks. Welcome to the stream. My name's Gemma Hooper. I will be hosting the stream on marketing your book. Apologies for the minor delay. We are at the end of the day, however, so we can get straight over into the stream, and we will get moving. So. Just going to make sure that we have everything set up properly, and let's get going. I might need to just trim up one thing. Bear with me for a moment. This will take 30 seconds. We want that to be a little more, and setting up overlays at the last minute is a thing, and I apologize, but we're very nearly there. And we want a bit more width. There we go. And that should have it. Let's see what that looks like on screen. Yep, pretty close. All right, folks, welcome. Please welcome Sarah, aka Author Goddess, and Travis, aka Travis, Tavern Talk Travis, who are going to be talking to us today about marketing your book. I am basically in a situation where I can hand over to them, but there's just one little thing. If you do have any questions, please type question, the text question, colon, and I have a question, or whatever your question is. And I have a bot that will pick that up, and I will then feed those questions through to our panel. So let's start with handing over to Author Goddess, who can introduce herself, and then we'll hook in.
There we go. Unmute. Oh my gosh, every single stream. Hi, my name is Author Goddess. I hope you're having a great conduit. We have been doing excellent panels, and if this one is any indication, it is going to go over the 1 hour mark.
Crap, sorry.
You can...
Carry on. No, I had the... Yeah. Let's just move that over there. Done. Good. Carry on.
All right. You can find me at authorgoddess.com, or you can find me at Twitch/authorgoddess, and yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we're good. No, carry on, please.
Oh, I'm done. I have introduced.
Travis.
Very good. I am Travis I. Sivard, author of many books such as the Portal series, Silver and Smith, and I have been self-publishing since 2012, as well as have other stuff published previous to that, but smaller things, not whole novels or whatnot. I do stream on twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk, if anybody wishes to join me there. And forgive me, there is some choppiness in the stream, so if I miss a question, bear with me and be patient, and I will catch up as we go. That's all it for me. That's my intro.
So today we are talking about marketing your book, which is a great topic. Lots of people have interest in that. Let's go ahead and start with the basics. Things that every author should have in marketing their book and kind of the 101 of what they need to do for marketing a book. So, Travis, if you want to go first.
Okay. Sure. Basics of marketing your book is finding your audience, I would say, is one of the first primary things. And this can be done in a lot of different ways, When you're smaller, first starting, reaching out to people personally, whether through social media, streaming, connecting through groups, forums, etc., is a great way to bring in initial folks. Now, beyond that and expanding beyond that, it goes in a dozen or more different directions very easily. But connecting with your audience when you're smaller, I think, is really key. Later, you could possibly rely on other things, but without knowing how to focus on your audience, it's hard to decide where to market and where to go to find new readers. So knowing your audience is of utmost importance. And being in the places where they are. I feel like that's the first primary move. Thoughts on that, Sarah?
Definitely. There are actually metrics that you can look at online for, if you are going for a younger audience, which social medias are better for that versus more middle-aged to older people. So if you can narrow down your demographic to, I always define it as your ideal target audience, because most of us can sell a book to anybody, anywhere. But, there's kind of the ideal audience that we have. And if you know who that is, then you know where you can find out where they are, and you can be there talking to them, making yourself known as a person who they want to get to know better. And one of the ways that they do that is buying your book. That is scientifically proven, by the way.
It's very true. Very true. Now, once you find the seed of your audience, where to go from there? I think this also very much matters now, Sarah, you already mentioned knowing which social media or where to go to reach out to people, because, of course, different target audiences use different social media. Beyond social media, we can look at advertising, which you can do pretty commonly through Google Ads, Amazon ads, Facebook ads, and all the different social medias will definitely take your money to advertise. What I've found personally is when going in for a new audience with somebody without a built-in audience, knowing how to focus on a genre, an age group, etc., it really helps, because when you do these targeted ads, they ask for that information. And building your audience out of a niche is quite often more effective than going broad spectrum, because think of it as fishing a pond instead of the ocean. Sure, a lot more fish in the ocean, but if you're fishing in a pond, you know what type of fish you're looking for, you can use the right bait. And the same thing for writing. You're fishing the right pond, you're going to pull in that niche audience, which is, I can't stress how important it is to get in there. And when interacting with your audience in these environments, keep in mind you want to be friendly, but not to the point of this is going to sound hard, but they're not your friends. They don't want to know about your laundry and your cats. They might want to know that you have laundry and cats because you're human and they like that connection, but they're not your inner circle of friends. So be careful what you put out there. Make sure you understand that a public figure, they want them a little further away than in their living room. They want to think of you as somebody who's done this incredible thing. They want to enjoy your art, your work. So just display carefully your close stuff. Understand that can be difficult.
That is definitely true. You don't want you can let them know that you wear clothes, but don't tell them what kind of underwear you're buying.
Sure. Exactly. So what have you found most effective for marketing your books when you were starting out, Sarah?
I went to groups that are fandoms of books in the same kind of genre that I was writing in, whether they were like genre groups or, single author groups. And, particularly if I was also a fan of those books and or authors, then, just engaging in the discussions, not with the goal of selling anything, but with the goal of name recognition.
Right.
And I actually started this a couple years before I was published. And because of that, I did get a few really solid sales simply from the fact that people were like, oh, this person actually knows this genre. Let's give it a shot.
That's a great organic way to grow your audience. It's a great way to reach out and get to know them. I did something similar, but much more in person. As I started out, I wrote a lot of steampunk, and I went to steampunk conventions, was a guest speaker, hosted panels, and all this sort of thing. So I had this niche audience, this pond, if you will, and I was able to connect with them personally. And when you get that group behind you, that niche audience who's passionate about what you're writing about, they will help drive you and your popularity, your social posts, etc. They'll talk to their friends, and that one-on-one, or that 10-on-1 as it may be, or whatever, is so valuable, because now, well, I feel the best way for anybody to sell your book for you is to be passionate about it. And if they know you or have met you, they can speak with that passion, not only about the work, but about the author. And we sell ourselves as much as the book in the beginning. We're no Stephen King when we first start out, where it doesn't matter what our personality is, we know people are going to buy that book. Now, what about the next step beyond that, Sarah? What do you think beyond that first initial stage? Where do you go?
Well, okay, so after that, you have to have your pages. It doesn't matter what, social media networks you choose. You have to have your author pages, and they should be business pages, not personal pages. These are the things that people are going to look for. These are the, if somebody remembers your name, they're not going to look for you as a person. They're going to look for you as an author in order to buy your books. So you set up your pages. If it's within your budget at that point, you get your website ASAP. And then the last of the great trifecta, in my opinion, is a newsletter. Doesn't matter how many times you put it out. Doesn't matter, what the schedule is. You have a newsletter so that you always can contact the people, even if, Twitter or Facebook tank, you still have those contacts.
It's very true. Newsletters, and there is a discussion going on currently if newsletters are still viable because of how people ignore email now. But it still has a value. You have an audience that said, I am interested. Here's my contact information. I want to hear what you're doing. Now, constructing that newsletter is a whole separate topic that we could spend an hour on itself. But realize whether it's a newsletter, and I'm going to keep on flashing back to social media because as we grow, it becomes a very important tool. The balance between personal versus professional, I don't know about you, Sarah, but anytime I'm looking at somebody's Instagram or anything else, I don't want to see constant ads because I have other interests too. So showing a little bit of personality, a little bit of who you are, what your other interests are, can help bring those people together.
What's up?
But do make sure you're putting in those things about why they followed you in the first place. Your writing. It's super important. And most important is, besides showing my cats or, the places I go visit and an ad for my book, the process. if you can get a community behind you during your process, during your, I'm starting a new book, I've got this many pages or words, I've got this idea, and they get excited about it for you. And that helps you, as you're writing it, keep going, because you've got this accountability and this passion behind you to fuel your own passion and interest in the project that you're working on.
Yeah. And let's not forget, there is a very strong correlation between how much attention people pay to you during the entire process of you writing and publishing your book, and how much they feel invested in it. They haven't actually done anything. It doesn't matter. They followed that. They feel invested in it. They're going to have a really strong desire to get that final product.
Definitely agree. And another tool you can use in your acknowledgments or dedication, mentioning your support group, whether it's I was on this Facebook group, or I had beta readers, or I have that one person who reads everything I write and gives me that critique back. This is a payoff for them. The book is the bottom line payoff. That's what they really want. But this other stuff, it shows value to what they've done along your journey as you go forward and create this incredible thing that you've done. Something else I'll throw in here about marketing. Writing a book is great. Doing a clean copy when you first put it out. Making sure you have a cover that's eye-catching and recognizable and pleasing. Make sure you have a font that can be read on that cover. Making sure you have a good editor. Because that cover, they'll pick it up, and that's your first your first marketing tool is your spine, your title. But once they pick it up, whether it's electronically or physically, looking at that cover makes them open it or read the blurb on the back. That blurb or that first page makes them keep reading. Your editing will make them buy the next book.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, I once heard this author who was sitting next to me at a convention, and he had 7 books on his table. I had 1 or 2 at that point. And he said, hey, to a new author who's asking things, if you can only afford an editor or cover, get the cover, because the cover sells the book. And I didn't interrupt him, but I had that kind of feeling inside where I went, yeah, the cover sells the book, but your editing sells every book after that.
Yeah, well, and I mean, the thing is, and this is kind of going on a tangent, but that's what we do, right?
It is.
There's a way to do marketing on a budget, and that includes, you can do exchanges. If you have enough skills to do editing, do not assume you can edit your own book. Instead, look for somebody else with the same skills and do a trade, because you have to have a second set of eyes. Your brain will mess with your head. Yes, your brain will mess with your head, and you will not see all of the errors. I guarantee this. This is a scientific fact. You can look it up. There's been so many studies done on it. It's the bear during the basketball game kind of thing. You will miss things because your brain refuses to acknowledge that it should be there. That it could possibly be there. And so your brain essentially corrects it for you. You need that extra pair of eyes to do that work. If you can barter for it, if you can do a trade-off, yeah, sure. You have a great author or a great editor. Do some back and forth trading. If they're not actually an author as well, see if they can trade. Maybe they will give you a discount for a free book or whatever. Do what you can for that, but do not skip the editing. And covers are interesting because you do have to have something that looks professional. That does not mean you have to pay professional prices.
Correct.
And so this book right here, SPA, I bought that cover. I'm going to drop the website name. It is self-published book covers. Self-publishing book covers, something like that, .com. They do pre-made covers. Each one is guaranteed guaranteed to be unique. Yeah, there's some duds in there, but $65, I believe it was. Not a bad price. Some covers can be upwards of $300. I think this one up here, which I absolutely adore, was like $70, $80. So you can find good covers that look professional. They may not be exactly what you want, or something like that, and they may not be like done to order or things like that. But if you are willing to put in the time to look for them, you can find a good cover for a reasonable price that you can afford.
Absolutely. And we could spend a lot of time on this, but I'm not sure if we want to touch on this and move forward with other things in marketing, because I think we all remember those growing pains so well. And it's a basic, but going off the newsletter thing and building on that, your beta readers are a great resource for marketing because they have read your book before you release it when it's in a rough form. And if they enjoyed it as you polish it more, look into things such as when you are launching a street team, which is something I have only done for the first time recently. And this is a group of people who get advanced copies after you've edited, cleaned it. You send off the advanced copy, whether it's a paperback or an electronic copy in this day and age, is very viable for this. And these folks are going to read it before it releases, like shortly before it releases, so it's fresh in their head when it does release, to where they can put reviews up for you immediately and give feedback for people looking at your book for the first time, or you for the first time. And they're also going to do that footwork. The hardest part for me about marketing, and Sarah, jump in on this whenever you're ready. The hardest part for me is I love to write. I don't want to spend a lot of time going on social media and chasing ads and checking statistics. So getting those other folks who either invigorate you to do this, or in some lucky cases, do some of these things for you. Because time management as a writer, you got to do so much writing time, so much editing time, and then that marketing and shaking hands and kissing babies, probably not literally in the past year, but moving forward with that, it's now a matter of grabbing those people who have supported you along the way and getting them excited all over again. And bringing that as that grassroots movement as you do the other things that are more professional with your ads and whatnot. Sarah, you got some thoughts on that one?
It's 100%. I mean, I remember a time when I was doing probably about 60 hours a week, and I wasn't doing any writing. Yeah. It was all marketing. And that was literally all I did with my time, was looking for marketing and, engaging in marketing and doing posting and doing that. It was insane. And I ended up cutting. Oh, yeah, you burn out so fast. Because, the thing that people don't tell you, especially if you're self-published or indie published, you are not just an author, you are a marketer. And anybody who tells you that traditional publishing is much different is lying. These days, a traditional publisher is not going to do the marketing for you. They may have additional resources. I personally adore the traditional publisher that I use. It's a medium-sized publisher that I use for my Runespells books. They are always giving you have discounts for this marketing opportunity, you have discounts for this marketing opportunity. I could not get those kind of discounts on my own, but they won't do it for me. And I don't blame them, because it's kind of a money losing model for them to do that for that many authors that may or may not recoup that loss. So, you have to do your own marketing. You have to figure out where your money's going to go, and you have to be able to chase down those interviews, the reviews. Oh my God, the reviews. Oh my God, the reviews. Reviews are your gold, okay? if you focus on nothing else, get reviews after you're published. Get the reviews. Get those reviews nailed down.
You mentioned interviews. I'm sorry, go ahead, Gemma.
Sorry, folks. Just wanted to quickly jump in. We do have a question in the queue that's been sitting there for a little while. Do you have any tips for overcoming imposter syndrome in order to effectively market? That's actually something that I find a really big challenge as well, is actually feeling entitled to actually put myself out there in front of people and say, hey, I can actually do the thing. Just trust me and go buy the thing that I've done because I'm good. Really hard.
Yeah. I have huge imposter syndrome. Like, I have actually had moments where I've cried because I had to put myself out there. But 100% fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
The imposter syndrome is something where you have to realize your own value. You have to build up your own confidence through small successes, and it's important to embrace those small successes. I wrote a chapter. I had one friend that loved the book. I had 20 people read it, and sure, only 4 got back to me, but 20 people said, I'm interested. The imposter syndrome is something we deal with all our life, and I've been doing this for nearly a decade, and there have been times earlier this year where I was like, maybe I'm just not. It happens. Allow yourself that moment to step back and take a breath, eat your ice cream, binge watch something, whatever you have to do, but get back in there. Realize your own worth, this hard work you put in there, and using the tools such as editors and beta readers and all these other things will help reinforce that you're not an imposter. You wrote this thing, you did this thing, and it has value to people. And you'll get that one review that says, this made a difference to me. Now, by the way, some people say don't read your reviews. It's a mixed bag on that one, because you get some people who will just throw up just a hurt and angry review that has nothing to do with you, and it's hard not to take that personally. But you can't. You have to realize out of your reviews, this many are saying good things, and that one person said something nasty. And you have to allow yourself to focus on the positive. And that's hard in everyday life, let alone in any kind of creative outlet, such as writing or art or anything.
That is facts.
Yeah. Yeah, imposter syndrome in general, it's on us. And fake it till you make it is great, but work towards making it and giving yourself that value and that self-worth. Because nobody's going to magically appear one day and go, you're a writer. You have to fill those shoes, and you decide what size those shoes are. If you're expecting too much from yourself, shrink those shoes. Bring it in a little bit and realize you did this, and you're working towards doing the next thing or fixing the first thing or doing something better next time. Learn as you go. And then if you're still having a problem, go pick up a book that has been immensely popular that a lot of people just say horrible things about. Go pick up 50 Shades of Grey. Go pick up Twilight and read it and realize this is a simple, basic book that's not anything special, but it hit the right niche at the right time. And we have to allow ourselves to understand we do write a lot of better, except for me when I'm talking, than some people that have a living doing this. And success almost never comes overnight. And if it does, be concerned. But a slow growth with your abilities, with your skill, is going to be so much more valuable, though a lot more frustrating, to your long-term success.
I got, I did the masterclass thing with Neil Gaiman.
How was it?
And, oh my God.
Yeah?
Okay, look, I don't think I've actually read anything by Neil Gaiman. I like the movies that are made from his books, but I don't recall ever actually reading anything by Neil Gaiman. But the thing is, the way he talks about writing, it's not about technique. It's about the way he talks about taking what you have and turning it into this thing is so inspirational. But one of the things, and I'm pretty sure he talks about it in his masterclass, I might have heard it somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure. He was at an event somewhere where they were like, it was like a whole celebration of like really awesome peoples. Dun, 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 TM. And he was like standing in the back, just sitting there going, why did I get invited to this place? This is Neil Gaiman, okay? Everybody on the planet knows who this guy is. And so he was sitting there, and he ended up talking to this guy who was like, yeah, I feel the same way. And Neil Gaiman's like,